radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. How you doing? Today's Thursday, September 15th, 2022. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer, and UnX Networks. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm just looking at all these GIFs, all these dancing GIFs over in Twitter. Love that, man. Highlight of my day. It's Thursday. It's another Fadernight with open lines all night long. All right. Call-in numbers 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. All right, man. Okay. All right. So let me start dancing here. I'm already doing the dance. Here we go. Let's dance. All right. Oh, wait. I was going to... See, I've got things. You guys got to understand, man. I got to click on things. I got stuff to do. Know what I'm saying? All right. Oh, man. There's the numbers. They're right there. You know what to do. I'm going to worry about, you know what? I'm not going to answer any calls. If I pick this up, watch. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm putting you on hold. If you hang up and call back, you're at the back of the line. All right? So this is the sound of you going on hold. See that? Okay. All right. Hear that? All right. It's really that simple. All right? So behave. Don't hang up. Don't hang up. Listen to me. Don't hang up. I don't care what you think is happening. Don't hang up. Just stay right there. All right. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, the show. It's Thursday nights, Fader nights, open lines all night long. Your calls, your conversation. You know what to do. All right. It's simple. It's UFOs. It's time travel. It's conspiracy. It's the paranormal. It's supernatural. It's lost history. It's all that stuff and anything else that you want to talk about. Had a pretty amazing show last night. Had an amazing week here on Fade to Black. Monday, Bernard Beitman. We talked about coincidences and synchronicities. Tuesday night, Tim Hogan was here. Grand Master worldwide for the Knights Templar. An amazing show. Monday was amazing. Tuesday was amazing. Last night, we had Richard Doty on the show, and Rick was dropping some stuff. And, I mean, lots of things of note. And one of yes, Art Bell was at according to his list, Art Bell was at Area 51 in 1979, way before Art Bell was on Coast to Coast. Years. That was a big one. That was a big one. So that was 1979. Wow. And Bob Lazar was also on that list. So we had that. But there's a couple of other things. When he mentioned, when we were talking about the MJ-12 documents, and he said that he didn't know what Bill Moore was talking about and Jamie Chanderay. So he flies out to LA, looks at the document, says, what? Takes the documents, wouldn't let them copy him, takes the documents, takes the film, sends that to Washington. And then Washington says, what are you sending us this stuff? Why are you sending it back to us? What? All right. Now think about that. It was just one thing after another. It was a great conversation. And yes, that there are some sneaky people right now that are out there trying to deceive, misinfo, disinfo inside of the UFO community and ufology. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. So anyway, and so much more. Wow. It was just, woof. Wow. What a night on the show. So tonight is open lines, whatever you would like to talk about. Okay. All right. You've got the numbers 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. Coming up very soon, February 10th through the 13th, I'll be hosting the Conscious Life Expo. And that is at the LAX Hilton. It is one of the biggest events in the world, certainly on our calendar all year long. The links for it are below, consciouslifeexpo.com, tickets and information. And then right after that, April 7th through the 14th, 2023, I will be hosting and presenting on the Hidden Secrets Seminar at Sea Cruise. Scott Wolter, Adam Apollo, Nick Pope, right? Think about that. Brad Olson, Vivian Chavez, and another half a dozen great speakers and presenters. And so come and hang out with us. They asked me today, so Jimmy, we need your breakdown of what you're going to be speaking about so we can post that. You're going to be hosting a panel. And you're going to be doing that for us. We'll let you. This is what they said today. And it's going to be great. And thank you for everything. But can you tell us what I was thinking to myself? I've got a few things. So I guess I'm going to send them an outline, and what most people out there, what they don't realize about this show is from the beginning, I have always planned this show to be unplanned. That's it. I just talk. I just sit, I talk with somebody, or I talk with you. I have no notes. If you could come into the studio and hang out with me, and many people have over the years, and they sit right next to me and they watch me do the show, they will see there's no notes. There's nothing. There's nothing. Tra-la-la. Nothing. There's a new David Bowie movie out. Just came out on IMAX. I can't wait to peep that out. Anyway, tra-la-la. Nothing. There are no notes. That's not the way that I do this. I just talk. And so even in the live presentations that I've done at seminars and conferences, there ain't nothing there. I might have, and look, here's my notes for tonight, by the way. It's blank. Okay. I might have 4 or 5 bullet points, like with a word next to it and a little bullet point, and that's all. That's it. Wind me up and let me go. So, that's what that's what'll be the outline. Jimmy's going to have 5 bullet points and talk about each one. Come join us. All right. So I had a very busy day today. A very, very, very busy day. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what went through my mind on this very busy day today. I woke up at 7 a.m. I started working at 7:10 and have not stopped. I have not stopped. I was dealing with phone calls and email to 5 minutes before the show tonight. Very busy day, very fun day, very challenging day. Everything is just a series of challenges. There are no problems. You just confront everything and deal with it and move on. And it just all stacks up. And the next thing you know, 12 hours have gone by. It's now 7 o'clock. And that was my goal. Just get to Fadernight, because then you can have fun. Just get to Fadernight. Let's deal with all that. It's all good. Just get to Fadernight with the Fadernauts. And so there you go. Okay. Where am I at? Get your free membership to the UNX Network. Go to the unxnetwork.com right now. Totally free. All right. And you get the monthly newsletter, blog access. You're going to get event notices. They do live events all year long. Margie K is going to do one on how to investigate UFOs and paranormal stuff. She's doing that right now. And you don't know about it if you're not signed up. So get over and get your free membership right now to the X. Links are below. And EdenPURE. Oh, so today, one of the things that I did today, so I had to go somewhere and I had to drive. That was very early in the morning. I got back. I had a meeting here, and everybody showed up, and we had a very successful meeting that was just on the calendar for 2 hours. It was exactly 2 hours. I got it over with. Then I had Christina Gomez's show. But anyway, so we're here at the house, and I was making espresso for everybody as we're warming up for this meeting and having a pre-meeting in the kitchen. And one of my guests, I can't say who, was leaning on the counter in my kitchen. I swear to you, on all that is holy, leaning above the Thunderstorm, EdenPURE. And it's right here and they're leaning. And he goes, "Wow, ozone air purifier?" I said, "Yep." Picks it up, smells it. He goes, "Man, it's quiet." I said, "Yep." "Man, this is pretty cool." "Yep." "You run it all the time?" I said, "It never shuts off." "Really?" "Good spot in the kitchen." I said, "It's the best spot in the kitchen." And he said, "Where do I get one?" I said, EdenPURE. Go to EdenPURE. Links are on my website. And he goes, "I will." Just like that. And on everything that I love. That was a conversation that happened at Casa Day Church today. That's how it should be. That was so funny. Ozone? Air purifier? I said, "Yep." "Man, that's really cool. I've been thinking about getting one." I said, "There you go. That's what you do. You got a connection." Thunderstorm, right there. 3-pack special. Save $200 on 3. Free shipping. Promo code FADER3. Man, that made me feel so good. Ozone? Air purifier? Yep. Oh, man. I love my job. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. The Sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. Got it live right here. Cassandra, she's got her thing going on. Cloudy is there. Tri-Scales there. Who else is hanging out? Tara. Oh, that's awesome. Stevie Nicks. I love me some Stevie Nicks. I really do. I will never turn the channel on my radio in the car if Fleetwood Mac comes up. Doesn't matter what the song is. It just doesn't. Olivia, you know how cool you are, right? Meow. Dreaming of Fanny. Meow. Hi, faders. You guys are the best. Thank you guys for all of this. And it just makes me feel so good. Lord Nelson is posting pictures of Reese's Puffs. Man, that's a lot of GIF action tonight. I just got a Ouija board tray. It's oval. It's a tray for my coffee table. I couldn't believe it. I don't want to say where I got it, but, at one of those home decoration type stores. I can't say who it was, but, one of those places. And there it was. And metal. And so I walked outside after I bought it. That was the only thing I bought. I walk outside and I take a picture of it. I think I took a selfie, took a picture, and I sent it to Karen Dahlman. Karen, look what I got. She goes, that is so nice. And of course, she's got one. But yeah, so I was just looking at the Ouija from who posted that? Okay, that's it. That's from Cassandra. Let's go. Let's get to the breaking news. Jean-Luc Godard. Sad day, but he went out on his own terms. The maverick, world-changing French and Swiss director of film who revolutionized all of post-war cinema in Europe and around the world has died by assisted dying. That's right. He was 91 years old, happened in Switzerland. He had a lot of things that were going wrong. He's 91. He said, you know what? And you can do that in Switzerland. That's it. I'm going out on my own terms. And he did. 91 years old. When you go to film school here in the United States and you get around those film school students. So, Godard. And it's like, you haven't seen Godard. You don't know nothing about Godard. They just drop his name. Godard. Yeah, he was amazing. The skies over Kiev are swarming with unidentified flying objects, UFOs, according to a new report from the main astronomical observatory of the National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine. Published to the database archive, the report, which has not yet been peer-reviewed, describes Ukrainian astronomers who have monitored fast-moving, low-visibility objects in the daytime sky over Kiev and the surrounding villages. Using specially calibrated cameras at 2 weather stations, astronomers observed dozens of objects that cannot scientifically be identified as known natural phenomena. That's right. I'm going to put up the links to the report. You can go and check it out yourselves. The media has picked up on this story. Papa John's. That's right. Papa John's Pizza. Papa John's is introducing the world's first space-inspired pizza with chorizo as its space-flavored topping. According to Papa John's, chorizo is the world's furthest traveled sausage. That's right. Astronauts have found that in microgravity, in that environment of space, foods taste blander than they do here on Earth. Of course they do. They do in an airplane. Anyway, hence, spicy foods like shrimp cocktail, they like that on the ISS, or chorizo. That's what they prefer to eat. That's right. You can't smell. You can't smell in space. It's a vacuum. Can't smell. So if you can't smell, food doesn't taste as good, right? So they go for the spicy stuff. The space-inspired menu will be available in China, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, all curious countries to have a chorizo pizza in, Poland, Germany, and select Latin American countries, but there are no plans to offer the Planet Chorizo Pizza in the United States. Higher temperatures and rainfall that weaken ice walls caused part of a hanging glacier to break off at a national park in Chile's Patagonia region, in an event captured on video by tourists, and the video is nuts. In the video that went viral starting on Monday, a 656-foot tall glacier that sits atop a mountain rumbled and then broke off at the Quillay National Park, located 746 miles south of Chile's capital. The video is amazing. It's kind of scary. Efforts to construct the $8 billion Maya train project have yet again stalled by the discovery of an ancient Mayan city comprised of more than 300 buildings, some of them 3 stories tall. All of this according to Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. Additionally, over 25,000 immovable assets have been uncovered along all sections of the railroad. That includes ancient roads, 431 giant ceramic pots, and 423 bones from humans. That's right. They had to move the train tracks. Yeah, it stalled. All right, here we go. Investigating the site of an ancient river delta on Mars, the Perseverance rover has collected some of the most important samples yet on its mission to determine if life ever existed on Mars. According to NASA scientists, a few of the recently collected samples include organic matter. That's right. Indicating that the Jezero crater, which likely held a lake, and the delta that emptied into it, had potentially habitable environments 3.5 billion years ago. Organic materials. That's all they're saying. Organic matter. All right. Let's get the show cracking on this day in history. OTD 1954. The famous picture of Marilyn Monroe laughing as her skirt is blown up by the blast from a subway vent is captured during the filming of The 7-Year Itch on this day in history. OTD. Fader fact. This is a fact. When you blush, like right now you're blushing, when you blush, the lining in your stomach also turns red. That's right. Think about it. This is Fade to Black. Tonight is Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. Now it's time for me to hit this River Moon coffee. RiverMoonWellness.com. I like my coffee, Doc. I do. I like my coffee, Doc. RiverMoonWellness.com. Fade to Black blend. Best coffee in the world. You know, when you have guests over at the house and they go, so, are we really drinking? You are. Let me see the bags. Open up the... Right there. Right there, bruh. Okay, it's cool. Do you remember as a kid when roads were endless? You know what I mean? Stretching out forever. Ending at the clear blue sky in summer. You're out there walking with your friends. You've got no worries. You've got no problems. Our only issues were hanging out with friends and discovering things. That was our job. No responsibilities. Our parents paid the bills. They fed us. They clothed us. They made sure that we had a place to sleep. We didn't have to trip out on life and its issues or taxes. Nope. We had it so good. And that is what parents are supposed to do, right? Make everything as easy as possible for us kids. So all that we had to do, everything that we had to get done was pretty much good grades and get prepared for life ahead. Right? That's it. That's it. And that's what I was thinking about today. I was driving. I had to log in 100 or 200 miles today. And it smelled like summer outside. It's fall. It smelled like summer, felt like summer, looked like summer. And I was just thinking about our parents. You know, because if you think about it and you look back, I just wish, and this was my thought, this is what popped in my, as I was thinking about all of that, and what our parents' jobs were. Our parents should have taught us that too. Would we have rebelled against our parents and done bad things? Well, we probably would have. But I mean, would we have looked at our parents just a little bit different if we understood that all they were doing for us is just to make sure we didn't worry about dick? Nothing. Right? And you know, you're not worrying about taxes. You're not worrying about a job. You're not worrying about the car payments. You're not worrying about anything. I just want you to worry about discovering things. Just take the day, go hang out with your friends, and just discover things. That's it. That's what I'm here to do. I want you to do that. Just get ready for life. You know, just go get your good grades. Don't stress. That's my job. And I think that we all, if we were taught that, if we were explained that in those terms, instead of punishment, or whatever, you know, and things are just, you know, stressing us out, that we were supposed to be unstressed. And that was their job. And I just had that weird thought, man. I was just driving. Man, that would have been pretty good advice. That would have been something pretty good for me to say to my kids. I didn't think about it. Didn't think about it until I was 58. So think about that, right? It just kind of makes you appreciate things a little bit more, but maybe stir some anger with your parents. Go to your mom and dad if they're still around and go, hey, why didn't you tell me that you were just trying to unstress my life so I could go discover things and go hang out with friends and not stress? Because I'm stressing over taxes now, right? I'm stressing over my job. I know what stress is. I know what you were going through back then. You were making sure I didn't have that so I could just hang out with my friends on a beautiful summer day while you were at work. I know, right? It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. It is open lines all night long. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's all simple. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer and UNX Networks. Raise Hobbs. I'll be right back after this short break with your phone call. Stay with us.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBlend for 15% off of your order today.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPureDeals.com.
Do you have an interest in the paranormal? Then you'll love the unxnetwork.com. The X is your streaming audio and video for everything supernatural, strange, and mysterious, like UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, and so much more. From hosts like Jimmy Church, Whitley Strieber, Micah Hanks, and Christina Gomez. Visit the unxnetwork.com show page for a complete list of all the paranormal programs you'll find on the X. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates at KUNXDB. Follow our Facebook group, UnX Network. Find the podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Audible, and Apple Podcast. It's time. It's new. It's the X.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Manson. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, it is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. Your calls, your conversation. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. All right. Yeah. I wish our parents would have taught us that. If they would have said, this is what's going on. Don't stress. I'm here to make sure you don't have stress. Didn't do that. They should have. It was just a beautiful day today. I was so busy and having this thing, and of reminiscing. And another thing happened today. I have iTunes, right, and in my car, and here at the house, whatever, iTunes. And it knows what you want to listen to. And I find that part of their AI, it feels strange. But anyway, so I'm going through and these songs, right? The Cars, Genesis, Pat Benatar, and I was, other stuff too, In Excess. And I'm listening to The Fix. Right, you can tell, right? The early 80s is what I listen to. Anyway, I'm thinking on each one, I'm like, I saw that at Market Square Arena. I saw The Cars, I saw Genesis, I saw Pat Benatar, and The Fix. And I'm thinking about, all of those concerts and just going through that reminisce thing, Market Square Arena. Started to think about the Quarter Deck, which was our local arcade on the east side of Indianapolis. And if you grew up on the east side of Indianapolis, you know all about the Quarter Deck. And going in there at the age of 16, 17, and getting your change and maybe playing video games, but just hanging out with your friends and stuff, and without the stress, right? And if you think about it, the stress in our lives back then, when you're a teenager, is all created. It's not like real stress from your friends or whatever, but that's created stress. That's not like real stress that you encounter as you become an adult. But and maybe I just wish it was explained to me. And I thought about that today. It was just a weird thought. So there you go. All right. With that, let's just go to the phones. Let's see who's up first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. It's Rodney Boyer.
Hi, Rodney. How are you?
All right. Upstate New York here.
Okay.
I've got a couple questions for you and a tribute to a friend of mine that passed away. If I could speak about that.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I was curious about Timothy Hogan. You had him on just recently.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Grand Master of the Knights Templar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was something I had watched last week that you were doing, or this past week here. I was curious if you know anything about Göbekli Tepe, South America, Egypt, these cryptids, or they're actually stone carvings, but they're carrying a bag. They all carry bags. You know what I'm talking about in Göbekli Tepe. Is that the mana they're carrying around?
Well, look, those handbags is something that we have talked about, Rodney, on this show hundreds of times. I've done presentations. I've had guests on. We've looked at all kinds of photography, and it's just not Göbekli Tepe. It's all around the world. You see this representation of something, right? And purses, whatever you want to call it. What is in there? We can all speculate. The Sumerian carvings and stuff, they're all there. The Anunnaki. These bags are there. And what was interesting is Göbekli Tepe being 7,000 years older, that these handbags show up there too as well. I think it's all speculation. Lots of interesting theories. I've heard everything from seeds, right, to DNA, to the nuclear codes, right? I don't know, but something of importance was there, and you see them. Not only are they being held, but they're above people too as well. They are depicted by themselves without any humans in the depiction. The bags are there by themselves. So what? Yeah. So what's going on with that? I hope to someday find out.
Thing was with Timothy Hogan talking about mana, and
sure, having
that was what was put in the Ark of the Covenant, and I was that there were 10 Ark of the Covenants. And if you think about the continents and how many structures or pyramids there might be, that the mana would have been encapsulated possibly in that for a power source. That was just my thoughts. I could be totally wrong.
No,
I've been wrong many times in the past.
And you could be totally right. So who's your friend that passed?
Paulie, I got to tell you something. He loved playing guitars. He passed about 5 days ago. We just found out today, though. And the one thing he did with acoustic guitar was that he actually, the most magnificent artist work I've ever seen on a guitar, he sat for about 2 weeks and burned like a wood burning carving and a guitar with a magnifying glass. This guy blew my mind, and he was a close friend, and I love him to death. And he did pass, just recently.
I like the way you said that. Paulie played guitar.
Yeah, he played
guitar.
Yep.
You can tell. You can tell you're from New York. Hey, Rodney, thank you for the phone call, man.
Could I do one more? I had one more question for you.
Sure.
What do you think? This is from my daughter Madison. She was diagnosed with cancer, and yeah, this is the thing though, Jimmy, and this is not a lie. I put my whole life into this. This is why I follow this phenomenon. My daughter had an encounter with a Bigfoot. Directly after that, she ended up with CML. It's chronic myelogenic leukemia. And are these? We've heard about this through indigenous cultures as being a harbinger, or is it causing this stuff? And I'm not sure you would know the answer to that or not. I'm just asking that to everyone.
Yeah.
Because that's her experience. That's what she expressed to me 10 years later, by the way. She's still taking chemo every day, and it bothers her. So I'm asking her question for her.
Yeah, and tell her, our thoughts are with her, and so forth. I mean, that's tough for any parent, or a child to go through. But I get that, and just tell her our thoughts are with her. I have never, and I've had many. I don't even know how many Bigfoot shows I've done. I've never heard anybody talk about this. But I think it's really good for you to put it out there to the community, ask the question, and see what they have to say. I think that's a really good thing to do. I would jump into Twitter, go over to #F2B, and just say, hey, this is Rodney. I was on with Jimmy, and I'm the one that asked about the Bigfoot, cancer possible connection. What are your thoughts? And bust that out, because the Sandbox and the Fadernights, they're very smart, and get the conversation going. All right?
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's I don't know if anyone knows this, but when she was diagnosed, there's a government paper that comes around, and you fill this out, and they get a geographical location of everyone that has cancer, and it's something you fill out. I never heard back from this, and it's just curious to me to see. I don't know, just me being in this subject for so long,
right?
And seeing some different correlations and aspects with this, it just brought some things to my attention. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
I appreciate it, Rodney.
Everything you're doing.
Give my best to your daughter, and have a great weekend.
You too, Jimmy. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great phone call right there. That's Rodney in upstate New York. And what is interesting about that? Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this. And apparently I can. So, I think that's. I've never heard of that. Is there a connection between has somebody gotten cancer after they had an encounter with Bigfoot? Have you guys heard of, Duke Sullivan would know, or not know, but he would be a good source for that. So yeah, let's put that out there. I've never, that's why we ask questions, right? Right there. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Triple FK.
This is who? What? When?
Triple FK.
Triple SK. I think you should talk to your
Frank
parents.
From Fort Knox.
You should go, why did you name me Triple? It's Frank?
Yep.
Okay.
Fort Knox.
Yeah, Frank. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, just nothing. I was just calling to see what you was up to.
Huh? I'm taking phone calls.
Seeing what you was up.
You called me. Something must be on your mind, Frank, for you to pick up the phone and call into the show. You're like, I got to talk to Jimmy. What was it that you wanted to talk about?
Okay, I'll digress. So I was out here, and I'm outside right now, and one of those, the ships that come over and they power up really, really bright, and then they dim right out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those just came right over.
Really?
But Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
just wanted to call in
And go, dude, I
see if you
just,
see anything.
you know what?
I just wanted to know if you see anything similar to that out there.
Every night. You know what we call those in UFO circles? A flasher.
What do y'all call them?
A flasher. Flasher.
Oh, the flashers? Yeah. Well, I see those too all the time.
Oh, you do?
Sometimes I'll just request them and they'll start flashing at you.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Sometimes if you request for them to flash brighter, they'll actually do it.
Of course. I mean, not every time. I wish it was every single time, but you can kind of tell. I mean, at least with me, I don't get as excited as I used to. But when I see a flasher, but you can tell when you're looking at one and you go, okay, let's go. And they do it. You know, it's not coincidence, man. You know, it's not. I think that there's a conscious connection with that. You know, and I'll.
We live in a conscious universe.
Well, of course we do. Absolutely, 100%. But when that happens, you get that little adrenaline rush. You know, and I do so much sky watching by myself. You know, but I love the moment, whatever it is, when I actually, talk to myself. Wow, that was cool. Right. When I say something like that, it was pretty cool. Whatever it is, just there are so many things that can go on. But I've been noticing it's not every night, though. So for it to be in the same spot every night, you would have to be outside at the same time every night. But I have been noticing up. How do I explain this? Like 12 o'clock, but forward a little bit to the north. Dude, I've been watching this thing just blink. And there's a pattern to it, but I haven't figured out the pattern. I think it's a very complex pattern is what I'm saying. But I can tell that, it's like, so if I filmed it for a while and kind of mapped it out, maybe I could come up with the pattern. But that thing sits up there, it's not a blinking star. Blinking stars, that's you can see blinking stars all over the place, especially on the horizon, and they're changing colors and stuff. But this thing is straight up and in two different spots in the sky. So, and it may be at two different spots in the sky because I'm not out there at the same time. And it's not every night, but maybe once a week. It's like my little friend. I swear, and I'll just go, okay, are you going to be there tonight? And all of a sudden, blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm like, man, that's so cool. So there you go.
One of my favorite things that to do is you can literally see them like pop in and out. In and out.
That's one of the things that I do with my night vision is I will scan the sky and kind of look around to see if there's anything crazy, right? But if it's, still at that moment, I will look at one spot and just hold it there. Just hold it there because you will see something come in. It's not going across the sky. You'll see it, appear and then go across and then start to fade out. That is, I can't explain it. Is it a satellite? Is it something else? I don't know what it is, but that's one of the things, Frank, that I do. And I'll give this tip to everybody. Scan the sky. If you don't see anything right away, just look at one spot. Don't move. And you'll see something appear. You will. It will appear. So there you go. Frank, enjoy your night, man. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, brother. Go Beckley Teppy.
Go Beckley Teppy. That's what I'm talking about. Frank in Fort Knox. Thank you with that, Frank. And I can't. I can't explain it. I've stopped trying to explain it because I don't understand, and I know that the vast majority of stuff that we're seeing is satellites. And I love seeing a satellite move in the sky that you can't see with your naked eye, and you see it with night vision. It's a pretty cool thing to know that technology is up there. It's the other stuff that acts and does acts weird and does funny things. It's trippy. So you got to go out and just hang out for a night, and spend some time, and then get the average of what's going on. Stuff moving east and west, and then stuff that's moving at an angle, and then it changes and turns directions. The flashers are always very, very interesting. And there's stuff that is at a low altitude. Not everything is way up high. It's lower, and you can see that. And then there's groups of them. It's strange when you see a bunch at the same time moving in the same direction. What is that? All right, let's go back to phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Donna.
Hey, Donna, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'd like to first, before I go to what I called for, is to say thank you for making a show that every topic's interesting, even the ones that I wouldn't normally be interested in. You've made them interesting over this past few years that I've been listening, and I personally like that you ask a whole lot of questions, because it's like you're asking the questions not only for yourself, but I don't think you realize this, but you're asking them for us, that we're actually thinking of the same questions you're asking people. So I'd like to thank you for that, and Christina Gomez, she does the same thing.
That kid,
I love her to pieces.
That kid is getting pretty good. She's getting pretty good.
She's listening right now.
Yeah,
she's got a big fan in Kentucky.
she's you know what I was thinking? I think I'm gonna have Christina on the show. I'm gonna look at the schedule, but
for me,
I think it's about time, because I haven't had her as a guest. I'm on her show all the time, right? I haven't had her on Fade to Black as a guest in probably a year. So maybe it's time to get her on, put her in the hot seat, and see what's up. Yeah, maybe. She's probably laughing right now. No, you're not.
Yeah. And I know she's trying to educate the people in her generation, but the people in my generation, Generation X and older, we're learning stuff too. And I suggest that everybody over millennial age, my generation, older, whatever, all of us subscribe to her and listen to her stuff, because we'll learn something from her too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She knows her stuff.
I learn from her every day. She is. It's that whole vibe of running around and at her age and discovering. Right, you and we can't know it all. I can't even pretend to.
No,
and
nobody can.
No, exactly. And I go through every day trying to learn something new. And I had guests over at the house today, and we got into we had a business meeting, but we took 5 or 10 minutes and got into a pretty deep subject. I'm not going to discuss, and I said, listen, all of us, right? We're coming from different sides of this right now. And it's too easy to freak each other out. Instead, let's just take this moment to learn from each other. And that's really the truth. And even that little moment is a step of learning, right? And
the day you quit learning is the day you die, right? Basically.
Yes, man. I don't ever want to stop learning. I don't.
Nope.
My favorite thing before you called for a reason, and we're almost out of time. So what did you call for? What did you want to talk about?
Okay, really quick. See what you think of this. Last week, it was all about the multiverse. Christina's show, I've been listening to it from the beginning. I'm up to episode 70 right now on the podcast thing on the audio version, and I'm on yours up into like 90 episode, because I've been going from the beginning and listening, but they all coincide with each other. It was all about the multiverse last week, and plus it went along with the current episodes from last week too, mentioning the multiverse and all that. I thought that was pretty wild. And then this week, it's all about the Knights Templar, the what else would you say? The Freemasons and all that, and a
Mhm.
little bit of Atlantis mixed into it on all the things, past and future, and current things. It's been weird. I'm wondering what you think about all that.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Well, but I've talked about that though, Donna. It's funny that you mention it because things have a flow to it, right? Things have a flow. And, you know, sometimes I'll just go off on an Egypt thing for a couple of months and I can't explain why, or life after death, or dreams, or Bigfoot, or UFOs, or whatever it may, physics, right? And I go through these phases, and when I do that, I see out there and I hear television. It could be movies, it could be comments, emails that are about the same things too that I'm thinking about, right? And I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah,
You know,
and it's mixing in with Christina Gomez's shows too. So I was thinking maybe it was some kind of purpose that I'm learning this stuff for me to pay attention
well,
to.
you know, with Christina, I've only got 30 seconds left. I have given up trying to figure out how her mind works. I'm done with that.
I don't want to figure it out. I love it.
She is all over the place and investigating and researching so many different subjects at the same time. And I don't have that kind of patience. You know, she's young and energetic and does things differently. And we're all different. Me, I just go, I focus so much on one subject and like deplete it. You know, that's what I do. Christina, man, it's just like I can't figure it out. I'm done. I'm done trying.
Yeah.
Now,
every single one of us that listens to your program should be listening to her.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the icing on the cake.
Oh man. Hey, Donna, have a great weekend.
You too. For both you and Christina, go Beckley Teppy.
Go Beckley Teppy. Donna from Kentucky. Thank you, Donna. Have a great weekend. And Donna's great. Always a great phone call. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. That means open lines all night long. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. On the Game Changer and UnX Networks, Race Hobbs. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More of your phone calls right after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPureDeals.com.
This is Billy Carson, founder and CEO of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv is the fastest growing and one of the most watched networks in the world. And I would like to personally invite you to check out our expanding library of TV, film, lectures, and special presentations. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv has over 6,000 videos covering lost history, health, UFOs, spirituality, and our future. We are committed to our community, and with my personal invitation, you can right now get your own free 30-day membership at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Your own library of information starts today at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv.
Because you never got that pony you always wanted. Damn it. Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier, and I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers, and you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernight by just going to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright-Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader night, open lines all night long. Got calls on hold. You can call in and get on hold. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. I have been binging on Cobra Kai. The new season is out. It's a great show. And The Karate Kid, part 6. And so the new season is out, and it takes place, as everybody knows, here in Southern California, in the San Fernando Valley, and in Encino, and it's pretty great to see the neighborhood and stuff. But they made a mistake. There is, I think it's episode 5 of the new season. And the family is sitting around at the Russo house. And the wives get in a bar fight. That was awesome, by the way. So anyway, they're all sitting around. And they, on the tab, I was like, wait a minute. That looks like White Castle. And I'm looking, and they got White Castle cups, bags, White Castle. And I'm like, how can they? This is so accurate to Southern California. And everything that is in play here. And they've got White Castle on the table. What is up? And so anyway, and I'm watching, I'm just like, Oh man, in those bags are those big, not big, mini double cheeseburgers with those, those dehydrated onions that they soak in water, before they apply, that one slice of pickle and those nasty soggy buns, and it tastes so good. And they're sitting there eating White Castle. There's no White Castles in Southern California. What kind of mistake is that? So there's got to be something to it. I haven't figured it out. Here in Southern California, if you want White Castle, you have to go to the store and you buy them frozen. And they only have the single cheeseburger. So I have to microwave 4 of them to get 2 double cheeseburgers. And I do it all the time. All right. Now, in Las Vegas, you can drive to Vegas. There's a White Castle off of the 15 freeway. Oh, there's one on the Strip now. So you can't, and they're good too as well. But how can they make that mistake in the Karate Kid? No, there are no White Castles in Southern California. All right. And it's so fun. It's what I just said, Phil the Stalker. I just said it's at the grocery store. You got to go buy them frozen. That's right. I wish they had the frozen doubles, but they don't. And here's the thing. Whenever I bring up White Castle here and I see the comments, ew, how can you? No. You know what? Move from wherever you are and move to a place without White Castle. Give that about 6 months. Yeah, you'll start to miss it. Go back and visit your family. You'll be at the airport. Okay, you know what? This is cool and all. All right, listen, on the way home, can we hit a White Castle, please? Please. And then you get to hear them go, oh, yeah, I know. Exactly. Man, I miss White Castle. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
This sounds...
Hey, man, I'm not missing White Castle at all, dude. I'll be there come Monday.
You're going to be where?
Going to the city, man, chiropractor appointment. So when I go up there, I grab me some White Castles. And, dude, eating those frozen ones, that's nasty, man.
Hey, man, you know what, though? I swear those frozen ones, they got just enough of the classic White Castle nastiness, just enough to bring back the memories. Is it like the real thing? No,
dude. They got to come off that grill, man.
They do.
Oh, grabbing them out of that bag. It's an experience, man.
Man. There's nothing like it. I was in Las Vegas a few months ago. I didn't tell everybody, but I was out there. And, man, I'm driving up the Strip, and there's why. I was like, man, that's it. So I walked in there, man. It was so good. It was so good. And, I was back in Indianapolis a couple of times last year, did White Castle. I had to do it. But there's no White Castle.
That and Waffle House, man.
I know. Same thing. No Waffle House. At least we do have a Steak and Shake in Burbank.
Hey, did you ever eat Waffle House when you were not drunk?
Yes. It was rare.
Oh, okay.
It was rare. But
yeah, I was gonna say.
But Waffle House, a lot like White Castle, Waffle House is there for 2:00 in the morning. That's what Waffle House is for. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, it's for breakfast if you're going to get up at 8:00 with the family, 9:00, and you want to go to Waffle House. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's great. But man, there is nothing. You plan your night. Okay, man, so we're going to go here, then we're going to go there, and then we're going to take care of this, and then when we're done, White Castle on the way home, right? Yes. And that's part of the evening. No doubt about it. And you order stuff you would never order, right?
Yep.
Oh,
dude,
man.
I used to love going through White Castle, get them suitcases.
Oh man,
they just packed them things.
Yeah, my average, I would, people that haven't been to White Castle don't understand what I'm saying here, but my number was 6 doubles. That was my number, 6 doubles. And
really?
Yeah, 6 double cheeseburgers And well, look, they're 2 bites each, right? 1, 2, right?
Right.
Are they 3 bites?
No.
No, they're 2 bites. So, 6. 6. I bet you if you weighed 6 White Castle double doubles, it would weigh the same as 1 Big Mac.
Maybe.
Yeah. 1 Whopper or the 6 White Castle double. It's probably pretty close. So that was always my number. 6, order of fries, Coke, and I'm good to go. Good to go. And you never.
There you go. Hey, man.
Never
I was
eat the
going to tell you
fries.
this. That's why I was calling, man. So you had that Templar guy on. So I called and sent that clip to a bunch of my Mason buddies,
Mm-hmm.
And one buddy texted me back. It was the next day. He texted me back. He's like, "We'll talk soon." And I was laughing, dude. Sent it to other guys. They just sit there and sent the laughing thing and everything, because I always mess with them, Dad was a Freemason, grandpa, uncle. I have a bunch of friends in it, so I'm not good around a bunch of people, so I stay out of it.
Lisa Davey just said, hold on here. This is awesome. Where'd that go? Sorry, Lisa. Okay, here it is. I wonder where she grew up. She says, I grew up near a Tommy's. I'm not kidding. I could walk 1 minute to a Tommy's. So that means Lisa Davey grew up here in Southern California somewhere. I wonder where. Lisa, what city was this? I'll bet you a dime to a dollar I've been to that Tommy's. Yep. I think I've hit them all, man. Hit them all at least once. The thing is about Tim Hogan. I got a call today from the UK and speaking, some business stuff, and we were talking, and Tim Hogan came up in this conversation, and it's the same thing. So what do you think? And I said, well, man, I just spent a week with him. Just had him on Fade to Black, and we hung out over the weekend, and I think it's very timely information. It's very timely. And I have another reason for saying that, Pat. This community goes through these sections of stuff, right? Whatever it is, black triangles, and we do that for a couple of years, or the Phoenix Lights, and we'll go through that for a couple of years, and this, or whatever. It's these different subjects, and we dive into it and go for it. And that includes, like ancient aliens or the pyramids and whatever. We go through these things, and we need fresh stuff to talk about and to research and to investigate. And to keep the mind moving.
A lot of the stuff we talk about and everything is not really evidence-based. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you talk to that guy, and I was impressed with the show. I'll give you that, man. That was one of my favorite shows, because people don't realize, they'll figure it out later. Some of the stuff he said, they don't talk about. And when he opened up and said a couple things, I was like, oh, crap.
Here is the thing. Lisa Davis says she grew up in Rolling Heights. Nah, I didn't hit that Tommy's in Rolling Heights.
I'm sure you got some stuff, though, when you were talking to him, because all my buddies, when it's one-on-one, we'll sit and talk about stuff, but walk away and it never happened.
Yeah, and so, and here's the thing with that is even your Freemason buddies, right? Even those guys, no matter what, they're not going to, there's just certain zones that they're not going to go into with a civilian. You may be a friend and a close friend, but there's a decorum. There's a certain thing there that no matter what, right, that they're not going to discuss out in the open. And I get that, and I respect that. And that goes with anybody that just doesn't okay, so check this out. We're talking about Freemasons, right? I worked at a company called Elisis, and we had like 5 buildings, and the buildings had letters A, B, C, and D, okay? And then the warehouse. Now, building A was my building. That was sales and marketing. okay, and the executive offices. And then across the parking lot was this other big building. It was called Building D, and that was research and development. And that's where all the secret stuff went on, okay? Those guys and gals in that building, you couldn't get anything out of them. Couldn't do it. And I, as a sales guy, I wasn't allowed in there. They wouldn't let me in the building, man. No, right. Not going to let a sales guy in here. You yap. You're out there drinking with your clients, right? You're going to spill the secrets. They wouldn't let me in the building. I was in there like twice in 6 or 7 years. And Building D. Now, I didn't pry, but you have to have respect for that. They kept that stuff behind that door, man. And anybody at Elisa's that's listening to me right now, they know all about Building D. And my friends that worked in there, that I'm friends with to this day, I still can't get info out of them. It's been closed for 20 years, since 1998, right? And I can't get stuff out of them, you know, and you have...
Yeah, I will say this, though, man. They are... not as tight-lipped as they used to be. My dad's generation and grandpa's generation, you wasn't getting nothing from them. The guys nowadays, I'll say it's a little more freedom of saying things. I will say that.
Well,
now, I will tell you something, Jimmy. I've seen some books, and I won't say, but I've got to see some books, man, that, I mean, blew my mind, and I looked at them and was like, whoa, we're talking books that, you know, a couple 100-year-old books.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, I will say one thing. Those Freemason guys got knowledge, and they actually have the books, and they have the receipts for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Yeah, and here...
'Cause I guarantee you got to see some stuff, because they never come empty-handed.
Here's the thing. When you go through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of learning and going through, you know, testing and earning your stripes, if you will, and going up the level. Once you have that type of dedication to it, you also respect it. And if you're going to learn something that, you know, for now, you know, let's not discuss this out there. You know, this is just for you and for us. You're going to respect that. You are. You don't want to blow trust and respect from others around you. And that's really the truth. And that goes with anything. Like I just said, you know, Elisa's or things like that. The military, for example. If you work at Google or whatever, you know, and you spend some time there and you eventually get exposed to new ideas or something that's being developed and something that's being worked on, like we did at Elisa's, and it was very competitive in the music industry. And we got a new piece of gear that's being designed, and the company is hoping that people are going to appreciate this product. You're not going to talk about it, you know. And for instance, okay, let me give you another example. I was sent something, I can't say what, and it arrived today. Okay, big box, big, and with very direct instructions. This is not to be announced. This is a new product. Check it out, and when we are ready, we'll tell you how, who, and where, and what you can do with it. Information, talk about it, and things. Now, do I want to post on social media? Check this out. Yeah, well, you know, but you have to respect that. You have to, you know, and it's cool. It's great. I got to wait a month and a half, you know, to tell the world about this. But that's part of it, you know. And why is it here? Because they know I can be trusted, right? And that I will give an honest assessment of the product, you know. And
the one thing I'll say about them guys, man, that people don't really understand is they don't judge you. the only thing they judge is your character to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because trust me, I've sit and had discussions, wild discussions with people. And the reason I've gotten to see and do some stuff and learn some stuff was because they know how I am, I know a lot, but I say a little. I've always been like that. Might have been from, selling back in the day. But anyway, I'm just saying, man, those guys are all about character. And that's the coolest thing about them. I respect every one of them. My dad, my uncle, grandpa, all the people I've met, they're just stand-up guys, dude. They're like, they're stand-up. And that's how they judge people. And that's why I like them.
Yeah. And I'm totally with you on that. I'm totally with you.
I'll tell you what, if you got a secret and you tell them, you ain't got to worry about it.
When I had on, I got email from somebody, and just one on this subject, and I didn't catch this, but the email said, "I didn't know that you were a Freemason." And there was some other stuff in there. And I thought, did I say that I was a Freemason? I never said that. And I'm not. I'm not a Freemason.
What you said the other night, the way you said it, I thought the same thing too. I'll be honest with you. Because as soon as you said it, the way you said it, I went, huh.
Really? What did I say?
You'll have to go back and listen. I can't verbatim say what you said, but you said something about, well, I'm not there yet. And when you said that, I went, oh.
Oh, really? No, I'm not a friend.
Go back and listen to what you say, because it can be taken two different ways. And I took it that way too. That's why I didn't say it. I was like,
okay. The email didn't state what I had said, right? The quote wasn't there. It was just that it opened up with, "I didn't know that you were a Freemason," with an exclamation point, right? And so anyway, not to get into that, but I'm not a Freemason. The opportunity and the invitations for me to go and hang out and even speak have been there. I just haven't had the time to do it. And also the other part with Freemasonry, and I know this, it's a commitment, and yep. I don't have the time to commit to that. I don't.
The one thing I also like about them is they don't go and do like, Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not knocking on your door asking, they're not like that. You search them out. And that's the one thing I really respect with them.
Phil the stalker just said, "Jimmy's not a third degree Mason yet."
See, there you go.
Yeah, yet. I see the thing that I enjoy is about all of those types of secret societies, those groups and things, is that the Masons, we're talking about over 2,000 years old, right? And their knowledge of construction, they're Freemasons, they're Masons, right? Okay, so did they build the pyramids? Probably, right? Okay, so their accumulation of knowledge is there, and it's the foundation of it. And I would love to get in there and try to get at that information so I can learn and see. I just don't have the time to commit. I really don't.
Dude, the one thing that, they're history people. That's what everybody puts this mythical stuff all around them, all this woo-woo stuff and all that. Dude, they're basically guys that they're trying to find out, humans. What are we? Where we come from? All of them are searching for this. But they also collect a lot of history. They're actually record keepers. Mm-hmm. And that's what people don't understand. Mm-hmm. They are record keepers. That's what they are doing. And people get mad, because he even said it, there's times when they'll slowly release things to public or let things out. That's, but we have to have a guardian for that. And I hate saying it, because I'm really anti all that, but there's certain things, man, human beings are not, if you're not at a certain, it's like a 5-year-old. You don't hand the 5-year-old friggin' keys to a car,
You
and that's kind of them. They've got the history. They've got all the knowledge. They've got everything. 2,000 years, Jimmy. Think about it. They passed that down. And that's not just, they're passing knowledge down. So if somebody learns how to do an OBE, then they're passing that knowledge down, and it's kept in-house. So don't you think a lot of these guys are pretty damn good with stuff by now?
and because it's been respected and discussed for thousands of years.
Right. Dude, they've got the knowledge, they've got the know-how, and they're a good group of guys, man. I'll never, a lot of people blast them and everything, but, just like anything else, it's like a dozen eggs, there's always going to be that one bad egg, that's just, that's how it is.
I remember
90% of them are exactly who they are. They stand for who they are. And I'll give you a quick story and, personal thing on my life, man. I had a lot of friends. My ex-wife was doing, dirty stuff on the side, man. And none of my friends, they knew it. Nobody ever said nothing. One guy came up to me and said something, and I wasn't even friends with this guy. He just knew my dad, which was amazing. And he come to me and he said, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what? And then he told me, and I was like, wow. And to this day, me and that guy, I mean, we're lifelong friends, period. Because it's character, man. That's what I love. It's the character of a person you got to respect. And that's what I respected. That opened my eyes to a lot. And then me and him started talking philosophy and everything else and got into, all kinds of stuff. And he probably says more to me than he should, but I like it. I don't say nothing. I just sit back and go, yeah, I like knowing that.
Yeah. The other part to this is like when Tom DeLonge, love him, hate him, love his music, hate his music, TTSA, whatever, right? But he had that Mason sticker on one of his guitars, and people wanted to attack him for that. And I don't. Isn't this supposed to be a world where you can do your thing? And I want to do mine. You stay off of me, and I'll stay off of you. Right? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened? Well,
I don't want to get political or nothing, but here's the thing with that stuff, man, because it does burn my ass with a lot of this stuff when people start, putting them down. Here's the one thing you got to remember: you had the Catholic Church, okay? And he even said it when he was talking about the history. I mean, he opened up and said that stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. But if you realize they don't like them. I mean, that's, they're enemies, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know what the Vatican done and it's doing and continues to do. They know it. So, therefore, you kind of got to understand, what do you think that the Vatican does? They do nothing but propaganda against these guys saying, oh, they're pagans or this. Well, I hate to tell you this, and, I'm not being a jerk, but, go look at the Catholic religion, man. Go look at their statues. Go look at all the pagan idols and everything all around, and then tell me, oh, we're Christian. Okay, I got you. Dude, it's all about, it's the facts. It's a history. It's everything. One of them's lying. One of them's not. You got to make that choice. But I'll tell you one thing. The Templars and the Freemason people that I've ever met, I ain't caught them lying to me or messing around with me or nothing. Now, the other ones, different story on that one.
Hey, Pat, enjoy your weekend, man. Thank you for the phone call.
Have a good weekend, brother. Later.
Go Beckley Tappy. Pat, man, that was just amazing. Thank you for that, Pat. That was an amazing phone call. And I was thinking everybody on hold is listening going, okay, I'll hold as long as Pat is lighting this up tonight. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. More of your phone calls next.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos?
amigos, yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
The Believer is the chilling true story of Dr. John Mack, a renowned Harvard psychiatrist and Pulitzer Prize winner.
This is an outreach program from the cosmos to the consciously impaired.
He risked it all to investigate human encounters with aliens. The Believer, Alien Encounters, Hard Science, and the Passion of John Mack. Written by award-winning former New York Times journalist and author Ralph Blumenthal. Now available in paperback from High Road Books.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. Fadernauts, when you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA.
Hi, I'm Ray Sobbs, and I'm here to tell you about something I really think you're going to like. The UnX Network is a part of a larger group called UnX Media, and one of the things we offer is the quarterly UnX magazine, which is available both in print and digital formats. This amazing magazine covers all aspects of the unexplained and makes for a great coffee table periodical that is certain to spark enlightening conversations in your living rooms. We invite you to check out the latest digital issue for free. Just go to unxnetwork.com/membership and fill out your free membership with your name and email and become a new free member. The new summer issue is now available, and the theme is Time Anomalies, which includes a feature article written by our managing editor, Lee Spiegel. Just go to unxnetwork.com/memberships. That's unxnetwork.com/memberships and get your free e-copy of the UnX magazine today.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
I got a sneeze coming. This is Faded Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Sneeze coming. It's coming. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. I was just sent a link via email from somebody that said there are only 2 White Castles within 1,500 miles of California, and those are both in Las Vegas. That's it. After those 2, 1,500 miles away is the next White Castle. There are 0 White Castles in California. I thought I'd just share that with everybody. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Faded Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3.
Hi, Jimmy.
Yes.
This is Joe from Virginia.
Okay. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's Thursday night. What's on your mind, Joe?
Well, I've been wondering, I haven't heard much about another island that disappeared in the Atlantic. We all know the big continent, Atlantis, the one you're not supposed to talk about.
Right.
But this one is called High Brazil.
Yeah, High Brazil. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And there's a lot that is like what happened to Atlantis.
Yeah, yeah.
One day it was there, and the next day it's gone.
Yeah, there's been a lot of research into High Brazil. It's appeared on a couple of maps. It is just west of the United Kingdom. Well, it's out there a ways, but
it's west of Ireland.
And some suspect that in the sea level rise that happened, that it just got ate up, that it didn't sink, that maybe the sea level rise came up and buried it. You can look when you look at some of the topographical maps and the sonar maps. You can see something in that area that could have been High Brazil. And I actually think, I do believe that was an island at some point. But it would have been so long ago, allegedly before boats. How would anybody know it was there? But even the Perry Reese map and other maps throughout history that were before anything, before America, before Antarctica, but they still show these things. And there are maps that show the Bahamas. There's a map that shows, if you look really closely, there's a place called the Bamini Road off of the Bahamas, Bamini. It looks like an ancient road with these tiles that go for a great length. And it looks like it's on this map, right? And you can see it. I was like, why would that be there? And so there you go. I believe that High Brazil was a real place. I do.
I do too. But, it's not, I don't know if it's not studied enough or we don't hear enough about it like we do Atlantis.
Well, Atlantis is hard enough to talk about, right? When scholars out there start to dip their toes into certain things like this, they get scoffed. They get ridiculed, they get teased, and they may wonder about it and try to research about it, but you can't talk about it. You can't teach it, and now has there been a deep sea expedition, Nat Geo, right? James Cameron, somebody going out there with a deep sea boat and looking for it. No, that would be a good documentary.
No.
That would be a good documentary.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't seen
Very
it done.
good.
People talk about it. I think it was real, but no research into it. Lots of Atlantis expeditions over the years, right? Lots.
Right.
Lots. Everybody's kind of come up empty-handed. But Hi Brazil, no, you're right about that. I think it's a good point, Joe. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Enjoy
And by the way,
yeah.
You look good with glasses and holding the pen.
All right, man. Thank you for that. It ain't gonna happen though. Those were props. Those were props for Halloween, which is coming up. Okay, so yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be a librarian. There you go, Joe. Enjoy your weekend, man. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you.
Go Beckley Taffy.
Go Beckley Taffy.
Right on. That's a good phone call right there. Hi, Brazil. I think it's right there in front of all of us. There is a lot of chatter over the years with the suggestions of it. I do know that it has appeared on some maps, but no real research. And there's, I'm telling you, there's reasons for that. You can't be some tenured, archaeologist, oceanographer, whatever, a member of NOAA and the NOAA. You can't and go, you know what? I need funding. I need to go to the National Endowment of the Arts. I need to get funding. I need a deep sea vessel and I need an underwater vehicle, and we're going to go look for Hi Brazil. Ain't going to happen. Who's going to fund that? Who's going to give you $10, $20 million to go out and do something like this? It's just not going to happen. So, yeah. Hadley just said, I'm sorry. Aaron just said, I'm just in such agreement with this. All roads lead to Easter Island. Yeah, that's good. That's tasty. Here's another point, though. I'll get back to the phone calls here in a second. Here's the point. If you go and look from the east coast of Africa over to India, from India over throughout the Indian Ocean over into Australia, and look at go into the Asia Pacific region, the Sea of Japan, and go south, right? And look at all of it. There were land bridges, and I wouldn't. I think that Australia was connected, and if you look at that, to my eyes, modern. Just go to Google. I think that was all one continent. It's just that the sea levels rose. Look there. And it's not deep. I mean, there are parts of the Indian Ocean right there. It's shallow. I mean, for thousands and thousands of square miles. It's not that big of a deal. And so you drop that sea level down, 400 feet. It just looks to me like that there were land bridges and maybe even just one solid continent through that whole area. I'm not making that up. Go look. You can see it. All right. All Nazca lines point to Easter Island. Oh, man, you guys are the best. Okay, I got to stay off of this. Let's go back to the phone calls. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, it's me. Hello. It's Paula Huxley.
Hey, Paula. How are you? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Well, now that you've called and completed my night, I'm much better.
I know.
Yeah, I know. How you doing, Paula? See, this is the thing. I'm going to let everybody know. Paula makes me nervous. Paula is smart. And you are. And once in a while, when I jump on social media and I'll see something from you, you'll send me something. You make me stop and think, right? So
Thank you so much.
I'm a little
Because I
intimidated.
don't know if I'm just one of them weirdo fans out there. I hope I hit home here and there.
Well, this is the thing. You like how I turn that around? See, now I've got you nervous. See, that's how I do it. That's my game. It's my game. I got.
Well, just wait till I open my mouth now.
Yeah. See, now you got to impress everybody. Let's check out the big brain on Paula tonight.
How are you doing after talking to Grandmaster Hogan?
Yeah, I know, right? Right. And you know what? What was better than the conversation? Was the text from him the next day. I don't want to, it was private, but it made me feel pretty good. It did. It's hard.
That was just the most amazing event that could ever really happen. And who's going to really pay attention to that? And how are we going to bring attention to it?
Well,
what I'm wondering.
Well, here's the thing, Paula, and you bring up a really good point. There is, with a guest like him, or you know what, Bernard Beitman on Monday, we're talking about a Yale-trained
That's
doctor.
a whole other conversation.
Right,
and
right.
Yeah, he went to Berkeley.
Yes,
Did
yes.
you live in Missouri? I live next to Columbia.
So, but here's the thing: when I go through guests like that, one after another, we're talking about individually, very bright people
on the planet.
Yeah, they're the smartest at what they do, right? And so here I am. I'm just a dude, right? And I need to when I have a guest like that, I have to be the smartest show host in the world at that moment, right? I can't slip up.
Sure.
And
well, you're prepared, and you knew stuff because you've talked to Scott Wolter, and based on everything that Scott Wolter has said, it was like hearing the same stories but from a different point of view.
Yeah, Scott
verified everything, and it just was creepy.
Paula, Scott prepared me for 10 years for that interview, right? So, yeah, you're right about that. That's such a good point. But for me to be able to sit and look, like even with Doty last night. So we're talking about, whether I have a scientist on or a physicist or, it doesn't matter, right? Avi Loeb or Randall Carlson, these big brains. I have spent so much time researching into these subjects that I can hang, and they know that. They know that I'm just not phoning it in and making it up. And
you've got so much information. You're just waiting for the time and opportunity, I'm sure, to continue whatever. And I have all the respect for you, and that you're the only person on the planet that gets all of everybody's crap just popped on your head.
Yeah.
Can't imagine how cool that is to hold so much information. You have to keep your mouth shut.
Well, it goes, but Paula, it's kind of like this in a weird way. So let's go a little bit organic here, right? When I sit at the age of 9 and I read at the age of 9 Chariots of the Gods cover to cover, 2 or 3 times in a year.
17.
I did that at 9. At the age of 10, I read the autobiography of or the biography. I read one on Aristotle Onassis. I read another one on Howard Hughes.
You were lucky to have those books. You realize that.
But I was interested in these things. I wanted to dive in to who these people were. So you go from that, and if I had somebody on the show now Onassis, right? Or Howard Hughes, or, Eric Von Daniken, that this is something that is, I'm programmed. This is in my head. I'm not some scholar. I'm not a PhD. I'm not some anthropologist. I'm not any of that. But I have spent a lifetime studying
Eric
this.
Von Daniken.
What's that?
I sat and smoked with him and with Eric and Giorgio.
When did you do that?
At CITD 18.
Was I there? Was I there?
You were there, and we were side by side in the where you buy cigarettes. I was going through their clearance rack, and I bought a little black book and a dress and shit, and you were getting cigarettes and talking to somebody, and I knew you were somebody, and I knew you were the radio guy, but I hadn't stepped into Fade to Black yet.
So you didn't say hi.
I did not. I just was like, yeah, I know you're somebody, but I didn't know who.
Oh,
and
that's
I didn't
funny.
know about it.
Yeah. Well, you figured it out. I was just a somebody.
You remember the pool, and you contacted the desert place, and where everybody smoked.
Yeah, out there, and that's where Eric was. I was out there with Eric. It was me and Eric and Giorgio. We sat on that little wall facing the pool.
And Ramon was there.
Who?
Is that his name, Ramon?
Yeah, Ramon. Of
Their
course.
Assistant.
Yeah. Ramon is
I'm
awesome.
Like, do you guys need an assistant? And Eric says, well, we really can't afford it. This stuff is really expensive. And and I wanted to be Ramon's assistant because he already was Giorgio's. Yeah,
Ramon is one of the coolest people ever. Yeah. I remember, I've told the story before, but so Eric invites me, to come and hang out with him at his little bungalow thing. So I'm there, and we're on the patio, and so Ramon comes up. I was there for about an hour, and the pictures were just precious. Anyway, so Ramon comes up and he goes, "Hey, Jimmy, can you do me a favor?" I go, "Yeah," and he goes, "Help me. Let's take Eric. He's got to speak." I said, "What?" "Yeah, let's go. Let's walk Eric up to the stage." So we had to go. We got on a golf cart, and I'm riding in the golf cart with Eric and Ramon, and I'm thinking to myself, how cool is this? I'm like, this is like, it's like Elvis, Aloha from Hawaii, right? We're landing in the helicopter, and I'm about to get out of the helicopter with Elvis, and Ramon and I, we park the golf cart, and we get out and we walk through the crowd, and Eric is in the middle of us, and the three of us we part, and the line to see Eric. It was like 1,000 people. We go past everybody, go to the side entrance, and stand there for a minute, and then I walk Eric up to the stage, and here's this
was
nobody.
He wearing his blue jacket, or was he more casual?
He's only got one blue jacket. I don't think he has any other clothes besides that blue jacket and the white Oxford dress shirt. But here's the thing:
I touched it.
Paula, how do I go? How does anybody go from reading Chariots of the Gods 50 years ago to a moment like that? And I am so appreciative to the universe and to everything that allowed something like that to happen. Since, Eric and I are friends today. Yes. And Ramon is the bomb. I love that guy. But I am thankful. I stop. I smell the roses.
I'm grateful for sitting there, and I'm like, "Oh, you guys smoking?" They go, "Yeah, we're human, or we're normal people." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I've got a minute, 90 seconds left. You called me. What did you want to talk about? Or is that it?
Well, I was calling to talk about how you doing after that call from the Grandmaster Hogan.
Well, let me ask you this. I've got 90 seconds, 2 minutes. What did you learn? What was the one thing that you came away with?
I'm thinking, wow, these are like unbelievable claims to have been made. And these are big deal things that affect so many things. And is anybody paying attention? And, if anybody heard that, within certain churches or whatever,
but isn't that the most important part?
How do you...
I think that's the most important part. And even Tim said that. I can come on this
and
show, Jimmy.
Press conference. And for it to be broken on your show is like critically cool.
But and he said that. He said, people need to listen to this show. And then the friends of the people that listen to this show need to be told about this show. That's my job. And let's get this out there the best that we can. And it starts here. And he's right about that. It's right back to your point.
I was wondering how Scott Wolters felt about him coming out and saying, yes, we do have vaults here and there. Because he followed the trail all the way up through, Central America up to the freaking Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Beyond.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
and
Scott,
then to call it out, and for him I can't think of his first name, Mr. Hogan, to say, yeah, he did a good job of tracking it all.
Scott, the next day, Scott texted me in the morning, and my phone goes beep, and I look down at Scott, and he goes, "You did good last night, kid." I was like, all right, and to get that from Scott, because Scott, not only was he listening, but he has been, shouting from the tops of mountains about these things for a very long time. And I think it's important for Scott and, for somebody like Tim, because Tim is in a position of respect and that people will stop, hopefully, and with respect, listen to the information. And that's important.
And to call for these artifacts to be brought to whatever, to
the public.
Right.
Yes.
And to not let any governments intervene or religions and call power over them is very significant in itself.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That was important.
Yeah, it's going to change things. But here's the deal, and as with Tim and with Scott and others, even like last night with Rick Doty, you can say these things, but you know what? We need this stuff to go public now. Enough of it. That goes with everybody that is dealing with this stuff. Bring it out. Let's talk about it and let's see it.
Right. Work on more interviews because he may need help putting it out there.
Yeah.
Just the platform itself.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, Paula, enjoy your weekend and thank you for calling in.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're the best. Paula Huxley right there. Paula, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Go back, Lee Tappy. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. It is Thursday night. It is Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, VX.
The Believer is the chilling true story of Dr. John Mack, a renowned Harvard psychiatrist and Pulitzer Prize winner.
This is an outreach program from the cosmos to the consciously impaired.
He risked it all to investigate human encounters with aliens. The Believer, Alien Encounters, Hard Science, and the Passion of John Mack. written by award-winning former New York Times journalist and author Ralph Blumenthal. Now available in paperback from High Road Books.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? Unx Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNXDB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B Blend for 15% off of your order today.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony. Damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. You know what to do. You know what the numbers are. It's your calls, your conversation. And I wanted to pop this up really quick and comment on this because I think it's bleeping brilliant. It's from Jane. Jane says, I wonder how many times, or I wonder how many items are in personal collections that we will never know about. And that is such an amazing point. I'll say this, and this is a fact, and this goes back thousands of years. This isn't something new, but anything cool was stolen and put in somebody's house, private collection, everything. And throughout history, the market for that, going to another land, filling up a boat full of stuff, stealing it, buying it off of the streets, going out and digging stuff up and taking it away and selling it. It's amazing, you know, and by the time exploration started to happen with boats, and I'm talking about in the 1700s, 1600s, 1700s, and this stuff is going on. That was the gig, and the gig was to go to some land, to go there, collect stuff, buy it on the streets, and then turn around and take it back and sell it. And do this stuff. And this is what was going on. It was going on everywhere. And it goes on today. And we have no idea. And quite possibly we will never know. We'll never know. This stuff is in private hands, and it could be anything that you want to think about. From artifacts and sarcophagus and stelas out of ancient Egypt, gone, ancient Sumer, that stuff, Anunnaki artifacts, things. That stuff is in private hands. There's stuff in museums, it's out there. Most of it, private hands, and no records. 500 years ago, there's nobody with a ship's log. Okay, I got this at this area, and this is what it is. Take it back and write a receipt. And no, that stuff is gone. And you really, really think about what I am saying here. That's it. It's all in private hands. And today, the antiquities market and the black market, that is a dark world, far worse than the drug trade or anything else that is deep and dark and soulless. The antiquity, man, and the richest of the rich are buying this stuff and putting it on display in their homes or in a vault somewhere. And that's the deal. So I think that's a really good point. With that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
It's Rebecca in Seattle.
Hey, Rebecca in Seattle. How are you?
I'm good.
What's cracking? What's on your mind?
Well, the show with Timothy Hogan. The thing that really struck me was what he was saying about the reason they want to come out and make this stuff public. Is that their goal is to help, enlighten or raise up humanity, kind of help the people, raise people's vibrations or something.
Mm-hmm.
In a public way. Now, I mean, Masonry in general, in these societies like that, their initiations and teachings and stuff have the goal of doing that for individuals. But what he was talking about was a whole other level of helping to help society evolve.
Yes. And what he said was that, and I think it was one of the best points, and he said this a few times, not just once, that these don't belong to any particular group, any religious group, any country, that these belong to the world. These belong to everybody. And I thought that was not only the strongest point, but he said, one of the reasons why we have been sitting on this for so long is that if somebody got something like this, they would use it for their own reasons, right? And it could be religious, it could be something else, but to strengthen somebody's position in a certain group and elevate the strength of the position. See, we are the chosen ones, or this was here for us. And that's a really, really, really great point, that you show this stuff, but you show it to the world and you give it to the world. It's not meant for any specific group or person or ideology. And that's a very strong statement, and one that is probably freaking out certain groups out there, whether it's Jewish or Christian or Catholic or Islam. These groups that may have an interest in this for themselves, and he doesn't want to see that happen.
Oh, well, yeah, and this is all, I think, part of the process of humanity evolving to the next stage, and because right now it's all based on greed and self-serving selfishness and things like that.
Sure.
So, but what it struck a chord with me, because that's the type of message I hear a lot of times coming from people who claim that they've had contact with certain extraterrestrial groups, that they're just kind of watching and waiting for us to evolve to our next stage of evolution, where we stop being selfish, greedy, tribalistic, and start thinking more in communally and cooperatively.
Yeah, and here's another point that he kept making over and over, that this knowledge is quite possibly some of it older than 10,000 years. And did this knowledge come from another civilization? And he keeps going to Atlantis. And then where did Atlantis come from? And where did they get their knowledge from? And alchemy and some of these other traditions that have been handed down for thousands of years. What does this do to not only history, but what we have been taught by so many academic institutions around the world that say this is the way it is? And if this comes out that there was a high-tech civilization that was spreading this knowledge going back 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 years, how does this change things? It will profoundly change things. And for those out there that I love the word dogma. Dogma is such an important word, because once you repeat this stuff over and over again, and it's untrue from the start, but the more that you repeat it, we don't have another reference point, and it becomes fact. It becomes the truth. And if that dogma gets flipped over, there's going to be some pretty upset people. You know, what do you mean the world isn't what I thought that I've been taught? What are you saying? What, Atlantis was real? Right? How does that change things? Certainly from a religious point of view, but also just from an establishment point of view, where we have only been taught what they want us to know, and how they want us to believe things and move forward in our own lives. That's a really big, that's like this outside existential influence here that it will have on everybody in a very profound sense. And I think it if it plays out the way that Tim suggests, and others, and like I was talking about Rick Doty last night, has nothing to do with Freemasonry, has nothing to do with the Knights Templar, right? Or Bernard Beitman on Monday, that has nothing to do with any of this, but it does. Consciousness and knowledge of that, and alchemy, and what Rick Doty was talking about last night, about these very important subjects about ET contact. And if this comes out, again, I go back to, a word like existential, because that is something that we can't touch right now, right? ET out there in the universe, that's an influence on us and the way that we look at the world and look at us. That's an influence that could change things, but it's not physically doing it. You know what I mean? It's existential. And that's dangerous to the powers, that control things. Right. Something that you cannot control, you can't touch, you can't fight it. It's an ideal. It's a frame of mind. That's dangerous. And what if that actually happens? And oh man, what a great day that would be, where we could just sit back and go, man, the world is a trip.
Talking about the Gnostics, and the reason why the Gnostics were so persecuted, and the Templars, is because they believe in not having spirituality mediated by the church.
100%. 100%.
And so if we take that and because religion has been sliding. I mean, membership and participation in organized religion has been sliding, and those numbers are dropping. So the church just doesn't have as much control as it used to. And more, I think, hopefully, politically and socially, people start applying those kind of concepts too, that we can have a society that benefits more people and do this in a peaceful way. But that's where we got to head for our evolution to go to the next stage and not have all these like violence and poverty. And,
yeah, well, see, but Rebecca, you bring up like the best point ever, right? When the Gnostic Gospels were discovered, right, and it didn't go with the dogma, it's like burn that stuff. That stuff isn't, and nobody can see that. Look at the Black Sea Scrolls. Here's you know what's so fascinating about that? They were found and discovered, written on metal, right, on copper, or some of it, and preserved, and some papyrus and things. But the point being that, what do they say? Right, they're right there. What do they say? It's like, well, we haven't translated, we haven't transcribed them all yet. No, right? But they don't want things changed. They don't want history changed. I've often wondered, where is the book of the Dead Sea Scrolls? Let's read that. Right? It's not out there, and we know that they were discovered, some of them are in a museum and they're on display, but what do they really say? They give you little bits and pieces of it here and there. But I want to see the book of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It ain't going to happen. And the Gnostic Gospels, we've only got pieces of that, right? And if you think about how this is the trippy thing. This is, I don't know if you know this, but this is what we're told about that. So you got a kid. He's out in the desert. He's a goat herder, right? He gets these clay bottles with the scrolls in it. They bring it back, and they need to cook. So they burn them to cook a meal. Right? Wait. They what? Now, and that's the story that we're given. Some survived. But the rest, they just burned them so they could boil water for tea. Nah, I'm not buying that story. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. So there you go. Hey, Rebecca, great phone call. Absolutely. You're in Seattle?
Seattle.
Great phone call. Thank you, Rebecca. Behave and be well, and enjoy your weekend.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Go back, Lee Tappy. Rebecca in Seattle. I almost said, I know what everybody was. Is Jimmy going to say Rebecca from Sunnybrook Farm? I know that's what you were thinking. I almost said it, actually. I almost did. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. It's open lines all night long. Rebecca, that was a fantastic phone call. It's a fantastic phone call. The amount of knowledge that, like the Gnostic Gospels or the other books of the Bible. Remember, the Council of Nicaea. Okay, so we're going to put this in the Bible, but we're not going to put this stuff in. We're going to put parts of this in, and then. And by the way, let's change the calendar too as well. Let's change the dating on everything, and that's what's going to go out there. That's fascinating to me. That who is going to determine, something like that? Well, that's what they did at the Council of Nicaea. And what is sitting, not only, with the Freemasons and the Knights Templar and in these vaults and what they're sitting on, what's the Vatican sitting on? And what are the different state actors around the world? Look at Germany, look at Israel, look at China, Japan, these old countries. China, India, what are they sitting on that nobody's innocent here, right? What are they sitting on that they've kept from us? Now, just think about that. And that's the way I look at everything. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Good evening, Jimmy. It's Mike from Montana.
Hi, Mike from Montana. How are you?
Pretty good. Have you done any shows on Antarctica?
Oh, or 100. I've done 100.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do do you know anybody that's like an expert on what they've been discovering down there?
I only know one person, two actually, but one specifically. They went on the trip together. Brad Olson. He's the only person that I know that has been to Antarctica, set foot in Antarctica, and asked questions. I only have one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll look up his stuff then.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Or anything? What's that? Oh, he owns a publishing company, CCCP Publishing. You can look that up. He's written many books. He's a very smart guy. He's been on Fade to Black a bunch of times and talked about his trip to Antarctica here on Fade to Black a few times. So, yeah. So what are you thinking about? What's your question about Antarctica?
Well, I've seen several articles this year, science articles, where they're discovering structures there that they estimate, because they're so deep underneath the ice, they're estimating that they're anywhere from 75 to 125,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if anybody had done any more research on that. I know they did used LIDAR down there to kind of map out the continent. And during the times that they were doing that, they've been finding different areas had different structures. And I just was trying to find more, a little bit more about it, and trying to see, because, Göbekli Tepe is 14,000 years old?
12.
And these are 12?
Yeah.
And these are like 75, 80,000 years old to 125,000 years.
Yeah, or older. Okay, so this is where I go. This is what's happening. I can guarantee that whether it's Russia, the United States, United Kingdom, Australia has got research facilities down there, China, anybody that has an interest in Antarctica is freaking out with global warming, because whatever it is that they don't want us to see, they've been protected by ice and lots of it. If that melts and something is revealed down there, a city, right, that is millions of years old, that ice has been on top of it for 10 million years or more, that is going to freak some people out. And so whatever it is that they want hidden down there, and I don't know specifically what it is, I know what it could be, but I don't know. I haven't been there. And certainly it's difficult to go to Antarctica, number one. Just even if you could book a ship and go, that's a real journey. So it's difficult to go down there. But they also make it difficult to go down there. And once you get there, what can you do? Can you jump on a snowmobile and ride for 2,000 miles, right, to the South Pole? No, you can't. You can't do any of that stuff. So they are able to keep their cards close to the chest. We actually don't know. But that's the first thing. The second is, if this stuff starts getting revealed because of global warming and climate change, which may or may not have to do anything to do with humans, we've had climate change going on way before we had cars. Okay, so way before we had smokestacks, we had issues with how many ice ages have gone through on Earth in the last 5 billion years, right? And so you really need to think about that. We've gone up and down, up and down. But if we go through another cycle and stuff melts down there, or what if Antarctica moves? Right? We've had all of the continents drift and shift and move around this planet, right? And what if something like that happened? And the other point that I've always raised, Mike, is this. I think Antarctica wasn't always south. What if it was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at one point? And everybody lived there, right? And then it just shifted and moved and went down, and we find that out. Their cities and everything else. Forget about the alien aspect of this, and there could be that too as well. But what if, right? If that is revealed and something is underneath that ice, that's going to freak people out. So that's my point, and I'm pretty confident in thinking in those terms. I really think it's a concern for anybody that doesn't want things revealed about Antarctica. It's been safe because there's ice. But if there is no ice, then we'll be able to see, and the truth will get out. And we may be closer to that than we actually realize.
Well, I do know that 125,000 years ago, or roughly in that time period, there was a tropical environment.
Yeah, we found all of that. We found trees, we found leaves, we've found things underneath the ice that are tropical, grass. And so we know that is the case. 100%. Now, have they found a condo from Fort Lauderdale? I don't know, but maybe soon. Hey, Mike, enjoy your weekend, my man. Thank you for the phone call.
Well, Jimmy, can I just mention one more thing? I sent you an email. In the subject line, it says Mike in Montana.
Okay.
In regards to a package I was going to send you.
Okay.
All right. And because it explains, I don't know your address there, so
okay,
I don't know where to send it.
I'll chase down I'll chase down or have somebody chase down the email, and I'll send you our shipping address to the office. Okay. Good enough.
I appreciate it.
All right, Mike.
Connected to Roswell.
I'll talk to you, brother.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Go Beckley Tepe.
Go Beckley Tepe. Mike in Montana. I 100% believe that there are some nervous people. Nervous, man. As long as this climate change and this global warming is going on, and these glaciers are melting, there's something that's going to break off, and boop, there it's going to be. And just imagine if there's a tourist. There's a boat down there, and they're out there hanging out with the penguins. And this glacier breaks off, and right there, it's like Planet of the Apes, right? Old Seattle. You're looking at the side of a city, a port, and something like that, and everybody's taking pictures, man, live streaming. What? Think about that, and it could happen. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. One segment left. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. You know the numbers, 818-921-6929 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Be right back after the short break. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the X.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hello, Fadernauts. Jimmy Church here. You've seen me with my Thunderstorm. Now you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air and eliminate odors just like I do right here in the bunker. The EdenPURE Thunderstorm uses oxy technology that naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air, which seek out odors and air pollutants in your home and destroys them. It's called a thunderstorm because it purifies the air just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 on an EdenPURE Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. Seriously. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and use Fader3. Shipping is free, and it's easy. Just scroll down. You'll see my name right there, Jimmy Church. Click on it and get your deal today. That's EdenPUREDeals.com.
This is Billy Carson, founder and CEO of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv is the fastest growing and one of the most watched networks in the world. And I would like to personally invite you to check out our expanding library of TV, film, lectures, and special presentations. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv has over 6,000 videos covering lost history, health, UFOs, spirituality, and our future. We are committed to our community, and with my personal invitation, you can right now get your own free 30-day membership at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Your own library of information starts today at ForbiddenKnowledge.tv.
Your 1 million gigawatt paranormal powerhouse, KUNX-DB, EX.
Are you ready to read about true paranormal events? UNX Media publishes nonfiction books about UFOs, ghosts and haunted places, time anomalies, cryptid creatures, and more. Just like KUNX-DB Radio, it's all about unexplained phenomena. Visit www.unxmedia.com to see our list of great book titles by Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Gene Walker, Devin Listrom, Wayne Lawrence, Bill Spicer, and yours truly, Margie Kay. That's unxmedia.com.
Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JamieChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. One segment left. Open lines. It's Fadernight. Thursday night. Great night on the show. I was over in the chat room and I disclosed to everybody, disclosure, right? What I'm having for dinner tonight. And so I am going with, I've got everything laid out. It's ready to go. I'm going ham, onions, green peppers, in a scramble. And what I do, I saute the ham, green peppers, and onions together in butter, and that cooks. That sits by itself, and then whip the eggs, of course, and then I pour that in. I want the peppers and onions to cook and to have that saute flavor, which with the butter that soaks into the ham. You've got to do it that way. And then scramble that and then cheese over the top, scramble that in so it's melted. English muffins, hash browns. Hash browns are fresh grated potatoes, by the way. I do that with the skin on, full disclosure and transparency. But that's what I'm going to do. And I am going to finish the crap movie, I can't believe I'm saying this, Thor, Love and Thunder. Started watching that last night. And Thor, Love and Thunder starts off oh so serious. Father and daughter in the desert on this planet, and the daughter dies. Tragic, and things, and a god gets killed and so forth. Well, anyway, and then the movie, spoiler alert, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, and I'm not joking about this. They turn it into a comedy. And I watched a good 45 minutes of it last night. I'm going to finish it tonight out of respect to Marvel and see if it gets better. But it is nonstop attempts at humor and one-liner jokes, one after another. Some lines of dialogue, 5 and 10 minutes long, attempts at comedy. Now, it worked in Guardians of the Galaxy, and there were things, in there and stuff. But to turn, it was, I felt bad for Chris Hemsworth, where he was busting out these lines that were not that funny. And it was just one after another. Everything, all the reactions, everything. It was this failed attempt at humor. Killed the movie for me, but I'm going to finish it tonight. So I'm going to make some breakfast. I'm going to settle in and see if there's a good ending. But man, didn't work for me. They wouldn't want me to be a movie reviewer on this one. And I love almost everything that Marvel has done. And you go back to, I'll get to the calls in a second. I've got people on hold going, okay, church, I got stuff to say. You go back to like Ragnarok. Man, that was a great movie. Great movie. There was some humor in it, but it was just a great story and was compelling, and you couldn't wait to just, to continue to watch it. Kira just said it didn't work for me either, Jimmy. And I'm not wrong in what I'm saying here. It is a relentless barrage of one-liners. And I'm thinking to myself, did they bring in comedy writers and just brought in a bunch of stand-up comics from the Laugh Factory and Sir Laughs a Lot in Minneapolis? Did they bring in, everybody in and go, okay, we just need your best one-liners. Let's just go. Here's the script, and let's replace all of this stuff with comedy, because that's exactly what's going down. It's crazy. Check it out. Watch it. Now, the graphics are amazing. The special effects. That opening scene with the oasis in the middle of the desert and the flower creek. Man, I was like, okay, here we go. This is good stuff. And then it ended, and they turned the page into an HBO one night stand comedy special. Yeah. And here you go. It wasn't even that funny. That's exactly my point. And it was relentless, man. It was relentless. Rebecca just said, it sounds terrible. Sounds terrible. I wouldn't finish it. I've got to, and Rebecca, thank you for that. I got to extend the courtesy of finishing the movie. All right, let's go back to phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey there, Jimmy. It sounds like some good vittles. Dave Scott would hate you for dinner, breakfast for dinner. Oh, yeah. Sorry to hear about Thor. Good writing and production's everything, man. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Yeah. I would love for you, Dave, to check it out. You're a smart guy. You're from Hollywood. You know what's up, right? And see, that's the thing. And I know you love this about where we live. Everybody in Los Angeles is a friggin' critic, right? Everybody here is in the business, or you've got friends in the business, and it's the industry that funds our existence here. And we love our entertainment. We love our movies and TV and production and all of that. So when a movie comes out, nobody's more critical than Los Angeles County. It's brutal. And this time around, and here, and this as fact, Marvel, when they established everything here in Burbank, the amount of money that Marvel puts into their films, they employ tens of thousands of people. The amount of profits that they make, what they're making like $1 billion a film, right? Seriously, right? Think about that.
Right.
And they crank, and now somebody's going to go, church, $1 billion. Yeah. Right. 500. So imagine for a second, anybody listening to my voice, imagine that you invest $100 or $200 million into something. And in this case, it's a movie. And then a couple of months later, you get a return of $300, $400, $500 million or more. And you do that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a year. That's what Marvel does. And that's what Marvel does to this economy. So with that, they have the best script writers, the best screenwriters, the best actors money can buy, the best cinematographers, the best directors. They have the best of it, best costumes, best of everything. And they have a clunker like Thor, Love and Thunder. How do you mess that up? How do you blow that script? How do you blow that screenplay, Dave? I didn't think that was possible with Marvel.
Yeah. Don't know. There's been a lot of not good movies as of late, but I wanted to talk to you about something I was going over here recently. I was looking at the latest scientific research into elves, sprites. I think there were giants involved. There may have been fairies. I'm not sure. I noticed it over on the debrief, and then I went to the scientific research. And while doing it, I ran into these super bolts, right? So they have regular lightning bolts. I mean, it's all about thunderstorms. You talk about thunderstorms about every 15 minutes, Jimmy, so I thought you'd been into it. So regular lightning bolts put off an average of 1 kilowatt of energy. And these super bolts, they're 1 in like 2 million. They put off a megawatt. That's 1,000 kilowatt. And when I was going over that, I thought Doc Brown had to have his equations wrong. Because if he's going to capture 1.21 gigawatts off of a lightning bolt, that either has to be a super bolt that lasts 1,210 seconds, or, yeah, that's 1.21 gigawatts. I don't think Doc Brown had his equations right. Or there's something inherent in lightning bolts that has to deal with time travel. Has to be it. There was something he was missing. Because apparently Marty got back to, 85?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, now, have you seen the newest sprites and fairies? And
no, I haven't checked it out.
ELEs?
Is it worth a read?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And
you got to promise us one thing, Jimmy. Never, ever, no matter how famous you get, you can never get rid of Fadernight, man. So the best. The Tim Hogan interview was awesome too.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and thank you. Fadernight, the origins of Fadernight, I almost didn't do it. There was the guy, I can't remember his name. There was a guy that ran Art Bell's network. God, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he calls me up and he goes, okay, man, so I want you to go 4 nights a week. At that time, I was 3. It was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And he goes, call-in night. I was like, what? You know, that's an Art Bell thing. That's a coast-to-coast thing. You know, I'm already battling this, you know, the comparisons to me and Coast to Coast and Art Bell. I want to do my own thing. No, you've got to do a call-in night. I was talked into it. I almost didn't do it. And back then, if I had my way, we would have never done Fadernight. And now It is absolute. I look forward to Thursday nights. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Best night of the week, man.
It is. Even over at Coast. Okay, can we talk? You want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
I'll tell you a secret about Coast. When I started doing Friday nights, which is the call-in night, right, over at Coast, and they have an issue there that I don't dig, and that is these normal callers that call in. Don't need to name names, right? There's no reason to go there. And I remember the first night, and I'm talking to these familiar names that I've over the years, and I thought it was cute. And it was pretty cool, and a rite of passage kind of thing. But I stopped that. It's like I wouldn't take those calls. I would do it once in a while, but I wanted to hear from people that I never talked to before. And for those callers over at Coast, and to some degree, I even do that here on Fade to Black. I have the choice of who I can bring in, right? I've got everybody right in front of me. If I see a number and I can see the call log, right, it'll tell me right here how many times this number has called in, right? And if I see a 1, right, this is the first call, I'll try to take that call first. And it's a courtesy thing where somebody for the first time is broken through on the lines. They've managed to get on hold. They've taken the time to call in for the first time. I want to hear from them, right? And I would do that over at Coast. If I could do that, and you know what? And I think that some of those very frequent callers, where if I was coming in and they knew I was hosting, they stop calling in, and I didn't have to deal with it. But because I wanted it to be special for me too. When again, I'm just going to be straight with everybody. When I was a fan of Coast, where before I hosted, when I was listening to the show, there was 2 things that I loved the most about Coast: a guest that I've never heard from before, right? A first-time guest, and second, a caller that I've never heard from before. Those were special moments to me. I didn't want to hear from somebody that's called in, every single week for the last 10 years. I could give a crap. I mean, for me, and surely, I mean, you would think that if you're over there at Coast and you're manning the phones, this, right? What are you doing? I would have something. You can call in once a month, right? Just have a rule, right? Just call in once a month.
Gotcha.
And it just makes it more special for the audience. Having somebody, always on the line with nothing to say, right? Nothing to say, nothing to contribute. A first-time caller, they've been waiting to call in for years. They've got a lot to say. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Kind of like you.
Gotcha. Indeed. Well, just wanted to say a quick shout out to Alex Stein on Timcast today. Go Hada Tortilla. Good night, Jimmy. Bye.
I'll talk to you. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much. Go Backley Tappy. And here's the thing, and I know that I'm not here to ruffle feathers or say anything offensive, but that was just the way that I approached it. And over at Coast, and Fade to Black. It wasn't just Coast. It's just that I love first-time callers, and that's not to say that my favorite callers aren't somebody like Mark from Dallas, but because every time Mark from Dallas calls, he's got something to say. He's got something to contribute. Donna from Kentucky brings something to the table, and there's a reason for the phone call. And, I'll always take those calls. But there is nothing like a first-time caller. There's nothing like it. And I almost said something I didn't want to. I was with a sportscaster, top shelf, right? Top of the game. And with a radio show. I'm not going to say who it was. Okay. There's many great ones out there with great shows, so you'll never know who I'm talking about. But I asked him one day, I said, so, when you go to open lines, it's always this one guy. He's got a secret phone number, that he calls, and and everybody loves hearing from him. And I said, no, we don't. Who says that? And I pissed this guy off. I did. And what he was saying was in his head. Now it's his show. He can do whatever he wants. But, and so I said, oh, secret phone number. Can I have it? No. Okay. All right. And I stopped listening to his show after that. But it was just really funny. The audience loves him. I don't think they do. I don't think you know what you're saying. And now there was, speaking of Art Bell and Coast, the one thing that I really dug about Art, there was, I think it was Art's birthday. And for those of you out there that heard this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Art, and you can go and probably find this on YouTube somewhere, the recordings of this, where Art went through birthday calls, right? Have you guys heard that? And he took, I don't know, I didn't even count, but I'm going to say in that 20-minute run between commercials, he must have taken 50 calls a minute. Right? No, that'd be one every second. Okay. But it was close to that. All right. Happy birthday, Art. Thank you. 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 And if you have the ability to have that many people calling in to your show, right, where you have got millions of people listening, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people dialing that number at the same time, getting a busy signal, and you are able to just pound through calls like that, why would you go to a caller that's called in? I don't know if Art, the way that he ran everything from his studio in Pahrump, I don't know if he had a computer screen, because that was a while ago. I don't know if they had software. Today, you have a computer screen and you see the names of the callers, and they're there in their pre-screen. Art didn't necessarily do that. And he probably just had a phone line there with the calls on hold. You hang it up and the call comes back in, and you put it on hold and you see it light up. And he's just pounding through that. And every time a phone line opens, it's truncated and it fills up with another call, and you're putting that on hold. It's being put on hold automatically, and you're just going through. I don't know if Art did a whole lot of call screening. And if he did, it was remote. It wasn't in Pahrump. It had to have been at a remote location from Premier in Sherman Oaks, I'm sure. And the calls were going through there and sent back out to Art. I don't know, but it didn't seem like Art was screening calls. And he didn't have people's names and things. He would just go west of the Rockies. And that is what I was interested in. As an audience member, listening to that was cool to me. And that's what I try to do here. I don't screen. I want to have it's like this is how my brain works with this. You go to a party, right? There's 100 people there. There's 300 people. You don't know anybody. You're walking in, and you walk around and you mingle with people that you've never met. You don't know anything about them. And you go through and you engage in these conversations, and you're meeting people fresh. That's what I want to do with the phone lines. So now, are there repeat? I don't know somebody's phone. I don't write them down. I don't remember. I can see the data, but I don't have people's names, and that's it. And I don't look at that, and I don't think about it. I just pick up the phone line, and whoever is there, and then we go fresh into a conversation. And that to me, for me, is the funnest part about it, the mystery about it. And that's what I tried to take that over the coast, because that's what I grew up with and listening to. I think it's the best way to go about it. So there you go. All right. Well, another Fadernight is down, everybody. Thank you to everybody that called in tonight. We've got another amazing week coming up next week on Fade to Black, and we'll get stuff posted up over the weekend. But it's going to be great, and thank you. We had an amazing week here. Now, one phone call tonight about Rick Doty. I was pretty surprised about that. After the conversation with Rick last night, I thought for sure that the phone lines tonight were going to be all about Art and Bob Lazar and the MJ-12 documents and Serpo and Rick Doty. And that was pretty interesting. And that's the best part of Thursday night here and Fadernight. It's just a conversation. It's whatever you guys want to talk about, and gals. So thank you. I am going to get out of here and go get my breakfast for dinner going. Another Fadernight is down. Thank you so much, everybody. What a great night on the show. And I'll see everybody on Monday. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. And this broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2022 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Until Monday, I want everybody to have a great, safe, fun, amazing weekend. Go Backley Tappy.